Well, here we are in southern Arizona. Usually it's nice and dry when we show up, but I don't think the Javelina likes snow very much. They're probably in their beds this morning.
Well, when the boys get down to Arizona, they got into a huge snowstorm. The temperatures plummeted to below freezing, and there was snow in southern Arizona along the Mexico border. That doesn't happen very often. Well, the boys were gonna brave it out, but they figured that the Javelina and probably any other animals were not gonna be moving in that cold weather. So they decided to let the worst of it blow through and then go out and see if they could get a Javelina. Well, it always cracks me up how the boys sometimes gravitate towards different weapons for different animals. Well, on this hunt, Jeb was going to take the Centerpoint Crossbow to try and harvest his Javelina, while Trent was going with a Taurus 44 Magnum. Well, in their first afternoon sitting for Javelina, they didn't see anything unless you count watching each other shiver a little bit in the freezing temperature.
We gave it a try. It was a beautiful afternoon, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Well, Javelina prefer warm weather, so when they got up the next morning and it was below freezing, they decided to wait and hope when they went out a little later that the warmer weather would bring the Javelina out. Even after the late start, it seemed like the boys were a little tired. They saw something. It was just looked a lot like the back of their eyelids.
All right, well, we had our lunch, talked it over. We've decided to go back to the same spot. Figure they may not have come out because it was too cold this morning. But it's nice and warm right now, and as you can see, there's no snow where once there was this morning. So we're gonna give them heck.
Well, that afternoon, Trent looks up and a huge bobcat is walking right past him. I mean, this is a big bobcat in Arizona. It's only about 15 to 20 yards away, a super easy shot with the Centerpoint Crossbow or the Taurus handgun, and neither of the boys shoot. They didn't shoot because they weren't 100% sure they could shoot a bobcat on the tag they had. They said they were about 95% sure it was okay, but they started to think in their heads they weren't 100% sure.
Well, that's a surprise to see. That was a good-sized bobcat.
I was super proud of them for letting the bobcat walk because they weren't 100% sure if it was legal with the tag they had. But I'll tell you, watching that bobcat walk through, when I saw the video, I was crying. What a neat trophy to have taken in Arizona. But they made the right call. They both cringed a little when they checked the regs when they got back and saw they could have, but I'd say that's a lesson learned. Make sure you know everything you can shoot when you go out hunting, because odds are something crazy is gonna pop up and you may not know. Well, not long after passing up the bobcat that would have been totally legal for them to harvest, a couple Javelinas show up and Jeb shoots one with a crossbow.
Jeb. Attaboy. Good job.
Shh.
Attaboy, Jeb.
Good spotting, Trent. Good spotting.
Thank you. I saw the little one come. I was like...
Well, the shot was low and they didn't have a good blood trail right off the bat, so they decided to back out and try again the next morning. With the below freezing temperatures, they knew the meat would be fine, so they decided that would be the best play.
Right here.
What?
Hey, look!
Hey! Attaboy, Jeb!
Well, the next morning, it didn't take long and Jeb had his Javelina. Pretty cool. They were both super excited. Unfortunately, the cold weather kept them from seeing the numbers of Javelina on public land that they usually see down there, but they were gonna be heading home with one.
Well, this is the Javelina that we were tracking all morning. Spent a couple hours after it, huh, Trent?
It's about 2, yeah.
Just like with our outfitting business, we don't have any quit in us when we're trying to recover an animal. we'd try and exhaust every option. It's an older Javelina. That Muzzy Broadhead,
Did it hurt?
Grandpa's original design put a hurting on it, didn't it?
Did.